So Robert Whittaker versus Reineer de Ridder is this weekend. I need to make predictions. Then I want to do a video on the Kevin Owens Daniel Rodriguez fight on Saturday, well, last Saturday. I have a lot I want to talk about that fight and specifically what position those two are now in. But let's get through this. First off, we have Martin Buday or Buday, however you say it, against Marcus Bochecha. Now Marcus Buday 4-1 in his last five, had a decision win over Saploviev, beat Andre Arlovsky by split decision. Got KO'd by Shamil Gaziev, who was still undefeated. Josh Parsons, he submitted. And then Jake Calder. Now, Marcus Bacheta, he's coming from the BJJ scene. He is a minus 200 favorite. And honestly, Bacheta should run through Martin Bidet. We know the level. Damn it. We know the level of skill at heavyweight, and somebody with his level of skill on the ground should at least be able to get close to the rankings in this heavyweight division. So I'm gonna go with him to get it done in the first round by submission. Maybe he gets knocked out and found out immediately, but again, it's heavyweight. You never know, and you know what the skill level is down there. Then we will move on to Muhammad Yaha versus Stephen Nigan. Now, Muhammad Yaha is coming off of two losses, a KO loss to Kai Fernandez and to a decision loss to Trevor Peak. Before that, he fought at UAE Warriors, got a decision win, submission, and a KO. You look at Steven Nigan, he just fought uh, John Aaron's, but he did good in that Aaron's fight. It was a war. Now, before that, he KO'd AJ Cunningham on the Contender Series. Had another unanimous decision win over Theo Robert Yang, and then KO'd Jorge Juarez. Got KO'd by Alan Cruz with flying knee on the Contender Series years ago. But I think Nigan should take this fight. He just had a war with Aaron's, and typically, when you see a guy like this, who's a select striker, come out of those wars, they usually put on an even better performance right after the fact. And I'm just not confident enough in Muhammad Yaha at the UFC level so far to pick him. So I'm gonna go with Nigan, get it done comfortably by decision. Um, I mean, he can even get a KO here, depending on how well Muhammad recovered from his previous loss. But yeah, Nigan by decision. At least 130-27. I feel. I just feel he's gonna do a better job on the feet, move in and out, land the jab, and then the second and the third round are just gonna be him figuring out which shots he wants to take. Then we move on to Evil Asman versus Billy O'Connor. This is ah, this is a tricky fight for me. Now, Evil Asman, you look at him, he just got submitted by Ian Kutalaba, who is very underrated. Kutalaba, he has, he did go on that losing streak there, but it was a tough competition. And when Kutalapa is on his game, he is a very, very scary opponent to deal with. Before that, though, he KO'd Rafael Sequeira, he KO'd Anton Takashi, KO'd Paulo Ronaldo Jr. Basically was on a absolute spree, starching everyone. And then you go over to Billy Connor, who just got submitted by Bogdan Guskov 6 months ago. But he did look good in that fight. Um, he definitely is more skilled, I feel. Um, he did lose this fight, but he did look really good at the start of it. He looked really good on the feet. Before that, he had a KO win over Drew Simmons, split decision win, a unanimous decision, and a split decision. I just think that Billy Akana, with how tall is he? Oh, they're damn, even Eisman's tall. I just feel the skill of Billy Akana is too much for a guy like Evil Eisman, who has already showed you what he is, right? Again, Ian Kutalaba, very underrated fighter. But I mean, I just think Billy O'Connor worked better in his previous fight. That's really what it is. So I'm gonna go with him to get it done in the second round by knockout. Um, yeah, I feel he works well in round one. Round two catches him in the middle of the round. Off of an off an off of an exchange because I feel like he's the cleaner striker as well. Then we move on to Amanda Ribas versus Tabitha Ricci. This one is uh, women's MMA, right? So she got submitted by Mackenzie Dern half a year ago, lost to Rose Namajunas. These are two high-level fighters in the strawweight division. She beat Luana Pinheiro by a spinning wheel kick, and she got KO'd by Macy Barber. Uh, she also beat Vivian Rosa. You look at Tabitha Ricci, though, she lost to Yan Zionan, beat Angela Hill, beat Tisha Pennington in a really close fight. Lost to Peter Godinez and then by a split decision. And then she lost Jillian Robertson, although Jillian Robertson is on a tear right now. So, for this fight, I'm not even gonna act like I'm confident in it. I'm gonna go with Amanda Ribas. More well rounded. Yeah, that's what I got. You never know with women's MMA. You never know. It could either be the best fight on the card or it is just a 15-minute break. Well, I guess 20 because it was commercials and that. Then we move on to Damone Blackshear versus David Grant. Now, oh, this is tricky. There, yeah. So, Damone Blackshear, like, we know what went on with Damone Blackshear, right? He came in to the UFC in 2022, had a majority draw against a Wall, lost to Fareed Basharat, and then got this TKO, got a first round twister, lost to Batista, got knocked out by Montel Jackson. But ever since then, submitted Cody Stamen, submitted Cody Gibson, and just beat all 10. Now, with Davey Grant, he's been in the UFC since I think like 2012 or something like that. He just beat Ramon Tavares. He lost to Daniel Marcos in a really close fight. And he's looked really good. Submitted Rafael Sunset, KO'd Luis Smolka, and then lost to Adrian Yanez. You know, Demone Blackshears looked really good recently, and he could have potentially got to the level where we thought he was going to be when he got in the UFC. He's really good on the ground. He has decent hands. But David Grant is just really, really good in his last five fights. It's tough. Um, am I really gonna do it? You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go David Grant by decision. It's just more what I pick. Yeah. But he does have really good takedown defense. He has really good boxing. I think this is going to be a close fight, and it's really a matter of can Demone Boxer get him down, which I think he can. But I just have this feeling, man. If I'm wrong, then you have Demone Boxer on a 4-fight winning streak, moving his way back into the rankings, and I don't know, man. I just have a feeling that Davey Grant is gonna defend most of the takedowns, and he's gonna outbox him on the feet. I just have that feeling. But I'm sticking with it. You know what? Davey Grant decision. I'm going with it. I I have a feeling about this fight. Then we move on to Muslim Sauerkov versus Carlos Rio. Sauerkov, 2-fight win streak, killed Keenan Sung with a spinning wheel kick, beat Santiago points in EBO best for decision, got killed by Randy Brown, and lost in Costa Dolby by decision. He also killed on Jeff Shallow. Carlos Wheel just killed Alex Morono. Really good performance by him, really good knockout. Then lost to Renat Pakradinov by unanimous decision. Kale Manel Manea, Kale Marcio Breno, and then Sada Sai. I'm going to go with. Huh. I'm gonna go with Carlos Wheel. It's just. Uh, he has a lot of power. I think he gets it done in the second round. I think he gets it done in the second round. Sauerkov, he needs time to get into a fight. And Carlos Wheel is a nightmare matchup in the fact that he is instantly going to go across that cage and blast Sauerkov with some big shots. He's 10 years younger than him, too. Yeah, I think he gets it done in the second round. Maybe even the first round. Then we move on to Bryce Mitchell versus Saeed Nurmagomedov. Bryce Mitchell. We'll come back to Bryce. There's a lot to talk about him. Now, this is a near even fight. Really? So, Saeed Nurmagomedov lost to Benito Oliveira. Benito Oliveira looks incredible right now. he just beat, who did he beat? Um, whatever, I can't pull that. Lost to Vinicius Oliveira, submitted Gaffarov with the guillotine, lost to Jonathan Martinez by unanimous decision, and then had a 2-fight win streak, a guillotine submission over uh, 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 Komarov. God, I just think his name's dude. And then he beat Douglas Silva, Dion Drive, as well by unanimous decision. Now, I know you know, can't like what can't. I want to say this. I want to say this. I get why Grace Mitchell gets hate. I also get what he was trying to say. Not saying I agree with what he said, but I do get what he was saying. Um, but yeah. Now I just feel that Bryce Mitchell will get it done by defending a takedown, getting into full guard, and just smashing Saeed Nurmagomedov into the mat. I just, I don't know. I see it happening a little bit how it happened with Oliveira and Taforia, but obviously not at that level. But again, Bryce Mitchell is really underrated. Really good hands, really good jiu-jitsu. I know he just got submitted by John Silva, but go look at that camp, man. That camp right now is taking over the sport. Basically, all of the main guys are in the top of the rankings, or at least close to a title shot. But I see placements for rebounding here and getting the knockdown. Then we move on to Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Gushkov. Nikita Krylov, man. So he got KO'd by Dominic Reyes by counter left in his last fight. But Dominic Reyes is on a resurgence. He's on a 3-fight knockout streak. He looks he looks better than he did before when he was on his way to the title. Now the question with Reyes will always be that chin, right? But he is um how old is he? I think he's like 34, 35 around there. So he has time left. Before that though, he submitted Ryan Spann with a triangle choke. Ryan Spann has gone on to heavyweight and found success. He beat Volkan Ozdemir. He KO'd Gustafsson, which I believe this is one of, if not Gustafsson's last fight in the UFC. He submitted Paul Craig as well. But you look at Bogdan Gushkov as of late, submitted Billy O'Connor with a guillotine choke. KO'd Ryan Spann, which, where is it? You know, KOs obviously are more spectacular. KO'd Jack Pago. He got submitted by Volkan Ozdemir, and then he KO'd Carlos Eduardo as well. I just think this is Bogdan Gushkov's fight. I really do. I think he has a yearly approach to fighting where he goes out there, not very defensive, but he'll pick you apart, he'll find the big shots, and he'll put you to sleep. Krylov is coming off of a KO, and I just think he catches him. I think it's one of those cases where Guskov catches him multiple times. Like he goes out on the feed, he stumbles up against the cage, and then is just able to recover. I feel like that'll happen a few times, but somehow it will go to a decision. I just think this is Bogdan Gustav's fight to lose. If I'm being really honest, maybe Krylov gets it back, but I just still think Gustav is more to offer with his hands, and he has decent grappling. Then we move on to Astro Almabayev versus Jose Ultra. This was supposed to be, wasn't it? Yeah, Ramazan Tamirov, but he got injured. Now, Astro Almabayev obviously got KO'd by Manel Kopp, but Manel Kopp as of recently hasn't looked incredible, and he's right there in getting a title shot. Obviously, they're going to give it to Joshua Bando after that incredible performance, and they better book Morab versus Pantoja. That better be the next fight for the both of them after Corey Sandhagen, which I have to do a video on that as well. I had to do so many videos, man. Whatever. He beat Mateus Nikolai before that. Beat Jose Johnson, Cedric uh, Varga, and he submitted Odie Osborne. He was on a tear before the fight with Manel Kopp, and I'm pretty sure it was on short notice because that was supposed to be Kopp versus Roy Bell, but that fight has been canceled multiple times. Jose Ultra, he just killed Cody Durden in his last fight. Really worked really good on the feet, really quick, landed some beautiful shots. Then you have Warner Kavanaugh, he lost by unanimous decision to Warner and Kavanaugh just outworked them. And then he did have his moments in that fight, but you know what I mean. Um, he then submitted Luisinho Pantoja with an anaconda choke, came off by a left straight KO, and then a no contest due to an illegal knee. I think I think that Arsenal Vibe has this. I just I think Jose Ultra is good. I think this is just a major step down for Almabayev. Like to go from Manel Cop to this, it's I feel like he'll have an easy time with this. I think the wrestling will be the biggest thing. Ultra is just unknown. We don't know how good his takedown defense is in the UFC. We don't know if he has, you know, we don't know what honestly what he has in general. We don't know if this guy is just a knockout machine. We don't know if his grappling can hold up at the UFC level. And that's why I'm gonna go with Almabayev. When you're in there with one of the guys who's right next to getting a title shot, you can't knock him that much. And then we have Shara Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barrios. Marc-Andre Barrios coming off of a KO win against Bruno Silva with punch elbows. Really good win to snap his three-pack losing streak. Dustin Stoltzfus KO'd him. Joe Piper KO'd him. And Chris Curtis beat him with decision. He beat Eric Anders though, which Eric Anders, veteran in the division. Not really much to write about, but I mean, yeah, he's been at the UFC level for years. And then you have Shara, who beat Bruno Silva, KO'd Antonio Fairway, beat McCall Zajac, and then he had the double spinning back fist against Armand goes into the MVP fight, and he just has no output. MVP looked amazing and pieced him up on the feet. Now that he did say he was injured going into that fight, so yeah. But I don't see Mark-Andre Barrios being at the level of Bashar Magomedov. Even with even though Showers coming off of that performance, I think he should be able to knock out Mark-Andre Barrios. Um I'm gonna go with the second round knockout. He'll rebound from the MVP loss. He's rangy, and I think Mark will rush him and Brighton to try and find a big shot to get him out of there, which is where Shara will excel at while he catches him coming in with like a right straight. I just see it being something like that, where Mark Andre Barrier gets overconfident and then Shara finds a short little shot that puts him out. But yeah. Shara Magomedov, second round TKO. And then we move in to Theodorian versus Marcus McGee. And I want to say this before I say anything about this fight. Stop doing this. Why the fuck are we giving random contenders number one contender fights? Theodorian should be fighting like Umar or somebody like that. Um, he's on a 2-fight win streak. Beat Davison Figueiredo, beat Song Yadong. He did go on a 3-fight losing streak. The fight against Marab, which he did well in. He beat Sean O'Malley. He beat Sean O'Malley. I'm not even going to say he lost that fight. And then Aljamain Sterling. He lost the rematch by split decision. Before that, we know it was the illegal knee that cost him his championship. And then you have Marcus McGee. And I want to point out, 35 years old. So he just beat Jonathan Martinez working in that fight. KO Gaston Bolanos, KO JP Buys, submitted Journey Newsom, and he KO'd Lucino Ramos in LFA. Why are we giving him Piotr Jan? Piotr Jan is one of the greatest fighters of all time. It's just fact. Like, he has some of the best boxing. His takedown defense is some of the best we've ever seen. And instead of giving him, I don't know, Corey Sandhagen or somebody like that, maybe the Sean O'Malley rematch, which I know Sean was, but we're giving him a number 12 guy who's 35. You're not even building up a young star. That's the part that I don't get. You're not even building up a guy who's going to be in this sport longer than Piotr Young will be here. I don't get it. But again, this is just UFC matchmaking. I just think Jan wins by decision. Marcus McGee is tough. That's all the toughness of Marcus McGee. The toughness. Tough. That's all they say on commentary. Jody Jan's in fucking school. Like, unless Marcus McGee finds, the perfect shot, I just think Piotr Jan chases him up in the boxing. I think this is this fight makes no sense in any regard beyond the fact that this guy has knocked out a couple of guys and had a win over Jonathan Martinez. Is that all you need? to get a title contender fight. This is a title contender fight. They are going to give whoever wins this a title fight. After you do Marab versus Pantoja. I'm gonna go Fury on. Wait. I don't get it. I don't see what Marcus McGee brings. I don't see what level of star he can be. Like, he's a nice dude. I listened to his last few press conferences. I don't get it, man. But we're finally to the main event. Robert the Reaper Whittaker versus Reineer de Ridder. And man, there's a lot to say about this fight. So we know Robert Whittaker, former champion, who is actually the favorite going into this fight. He lost to Hamza Chimaev by a face strength. Hamza Chimaev broke his jaw with a face strength. Is at 9 months, almost 9 months to recover. And we know that Hamza Chimaev is just a freak. He KO'd Ikram Alistrov rebounded with his own KO. He beat Paulo Costa by unanimous decision. Paulo Costa just looked good in his last fight last weekend. Paulo Costa looked the best he's looked in years. I would honestly say before the no, I would say that was the best Paulo Costa we've seen since probably since the Go medal fight. He got KO'd by Dricus Duplessis, who is now the champion. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? DDP, he's a blitzer. He's got power in his hands. He is massive, by the way. I don't know if you saw him up next to Tom Aspinall. He is damn near the same size as Tom Aspinall. It is scary. And then before that, he beat Marvin Vittori, who just lost his fight to Brendan Allen. Then you go over to Reineer de Ridder. Now, this is tough. This is really tough. Reineer de Ridder is really, really fucking good. He lost to Anatoly Malkin. Well, if you guys don't know who that is, he is what was the 3 division champion at one. I think he lost his last fight by decision. But he went over to UAE Warriors, KO Mago Murad to serve. Then he makes it into the UFC. He debuts against Gerald Marshall, and Gerald Marshall was piecing him up on the feet, and it was an ugly debut until he got him down and found the arm triangle. He really needed that submission, or else I genuinely think he would have lost his debut in the UFC to Gerald Marshall. But after that, he goes in, fights Kevin Owens, and submits Kevin Owens. I know, and Kevin Owens just had that fight with Daniel Rodriguez. Again, I don't want to step on that. That is the video I'm gonna make right after I upload this. But it's a good win to have over one of the UFC's biggest stars right now. Whether you love Kevin Owens or you hate him, Kevin Owens brings attention to the sport. He is one of the best we have actively fighting. And he submitted him. And then obviously he had the win a 2 months ago against Bo Nickel, where he showed everybody this whole American wrestling pedigree. It doesn't mean shit. And I'm making this about this right now. I am so tired of hearing, and we're hearing it with Gable Stevenson, who Gable Stevenson is really good, but when these American wrestlers go up against these European and Dagestani wrestlers, they have nothing for them, right? And he did exactly what I thought he would do. He defended the takedowns, he went to the body, and he KO'd Bo Nickel with ease. Now he goes in against the former champion, a guy who has only lost to the two guys fighting for the title and the last guy to have the title. I love Robert Whittaker. I love both of these guys. I'm a big fan of both. But I hate to say it, man. I think this is already our fight. I think Audio wins. I think it's by decision. I can see him getting a knockout. I think in Whitaker's absolute prime, which he he technically still is. He's right at the end of his prime. I think he would have schooled Reineer de Ridder 3, 4, 5 years ago. He just had the perfect breakout fight. 4 inch reach, long range, Dutch, yeah, I said Dutch kickboxing, which Dutch kickboxing, man, if you've never gone and watched that, it's incredible. It is insane the level that some of these Dutch fighters are at. But I just think it's going to be Reineer de Ridder going in for takedowns, using that clinch, and slowly battering Robert Whittaker. I expect Robert Whittaker to keep it close, though. Like, I expect this to be like a 48-47, and then you get one 49-46. Just because, judges, they will try their absolute best to make sure nobody has this thing card. Oh no, only two referees will have a card that makes sense, and then the other one is like, hey man, we're agreeing on our card. Write in random numbers on yours. That's just how it works now. But I'm looking forward to this fight. I think this is a major, major turning point for the middleweight division. Well, let me know, who are you picking this week? What do you think about my picks? And what fight are you looking forward to the most? Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go record that video on Daniel Rodriguez and Kevin Holland.